The hula hoop activity is definitely one of the more interesting games that promote collaboration. It was pretty much derived with a math focus behind it. A group of students within Jackson, Mississippi, were doing stuff involving the stacking game and the graphing calculator stuff, and wanted to get a different aspect of dynamic and had hula hoops and decided, okay, let's try hula hoops. The big group, the students got an opportunity to just do it all together. They competed against a time, so the time may be set to 40 seconds or so. So for maybe the 20, 25 people that were there, they're all trying to achieve that goal together. Okay, I get through the hula hoop in 2 seconds, but it doesn't really matter if you get through the hula hoop in 2 seconds if the rest of the group doesn't get through the hula hoop within that 40 seconds or that set time frame. And in order to do that activity, you can't just do it by yourself. You have to, the person that's to the left and right of you has to help you to achieve that goal. So that's just a strict and main component. It's a very simple game, but it touches so much of what the project is about. Like Jazzy was saying, we're going to split up into 2 separate groups. Me and Jennifer kind of got a competition. So whoever I got on my team, have to win.
All right, Mark, get set, go. Ready, hurry up.
Let's go, Leslie.
Ready, hurry up. Ready, hurry up.
Come on now, let's go. No, let's go, y'all. Let's go. We got this. They cannot beat us. Let's go. Hold it down. We got this.
The Mobius Function, and this is basically how you figure out what a number's color and output is. So you have to break it down into, so say I had 20, and what numbers I would have to multiply to get 20 would be 2, 2, and 5. Using factor trees, you break down the number and to its prime components. Like I said, the algebra form is using letters instead of numbers, so you put a squared for the 2's and b for the 5. And the output would be 0 because there are repeating prime factors. And the color would be yellow. Okay, for 17, 17 is a prime number. So its prime components is 17. Its algebra form would be just A. The output would be -1 because it's an odd number and they're non-repeating. So the color would be red, right? Same thing with the blues and everything else. You just use factor trees.
Well, the Mobius function, I guess, mathematicians have used it to kind of find a commonality between certain numbers. So prime numbers would have different features from other numbers. So it's kind of a way to, differentiate between the two, prime and composite numbers. And we would use it, and you'll see it later on today when we do some of the other activities, how the Mobius function kind of plays out. One of its basic functions is to get students to kind of transition into pre-algebra. All right, so let's start off with the number 22. You turn on the back, turn the paper on the back, on the blank side, to do a factor tree for 22. So what were the prime numbers? What were the factors?
I just have a number in my head.
So 11, 2. 11, 2. Turn it over. 5 factors. Excuse me. What? Put that away.
That's 40.
11 and 2. So those are 11 and 2. Are they prime numbers or composite numbers? Prime. So they can't be broken down anymore. So what you're going to do, where it says prime factors, put 2 and 11. If we assign 2 a letter and 11 a letter, what would 2 be? And 11 would be? So the algebra form is what?
A squared plus
AB. All right. So how many letters are there in the algebra form?
3. A, B, C, D.
Where? Where does you see at? For the number 22, there's only 2 letters in the algebra form. So the output is going to be +1. One thing that I definitely don't want to put as a misconception is that YPP is strictly math-based. There's a lot of leadership, community, and enrichment that's tied into it that's not so centrally focused on math. One main part of the program is definitely collaboration, and working with each other, learning from each other and things of that nature. A lot of the students there or participants there knew one another, but some people didn't. And just because we were going to do a lot of different activities and they were going to be, grouped together, it was extremely important for them to know each other's names. It's a sign of respect.
Lydia, Lydia, Lydia.
Lydia, Lydia, Lydia. What's your name?
Ashley, Ashley, Ashley.
Ashley, Ashley, Ashley.
Dominica, Dominica, Dominica.
Dominica, Dominica, Dominica.
Marilyn, Marilyn, Marilyn.
Marilyn, Marilyn, Marilyn.
Jokes. Nap.
Prime factor bingo gets students to kind of reinforce their knowledge of factorization and prime factorization. So break his numbers down into their prime factors. So you would have a sheet that's 5 by 5 with different numbers that are broken down into their prime factors, or prime numbers like the number 30, which would be 2, 3, 5. And that would be in one particular box. So you would have the judge or the facilitator of the activity call out the number 30, and everybody that's participating in the activity would have to break down 30 in order to figure out if they have the numbers 2, 3, 5 on their paper. And it's just a fun way and a creative way for them to, harness their factorization skills.
You guys ready?
Yeah, Billy.
The first number is 32.
Damn right.
Are you going to pay attention? Because I just called a number. The next number is 24.
I got this.